I'm Dr. Col Miller, a former Air Force intelligence officer and Department of Defense analyst. I'm going to give you a professional intelligence briefing on the artificial intelligence threat based on data analysis and the assessments of the leading AI experts. I run the Disaster Preparedness Threat Watch and Collapse Warning System, tracking threats that might trigger a collapse, a disaster or attack so severe that it leads to the economy not functioning and widespread loss of law and order as society breaks down. I've worked in the Pentagon Senior Executive Service and the top Department of Defense think tank. Artificial intelligence is the worst threat humanity has faced. After documenting the threat of AI, I will then explain why AI must be carefully controlled and superintelligent artificial general intelligence completely banned, prevented, enforced by an international AI control alliance led by the US and China. Experts warning about artificial intelligence are underestimating the risk of this horrible new technology because they are focused on the future threat of superintelligent artificial general intelligence. But current simple AI is already being used by bad people, terrorists, and nation states to create deadly new weapons of mass destruction. If we do not institute very strong international controls, AI is going to kill most or every last one of us. I'm going to walk through these 24 exhibits quickly. You can download them to study and share, and you are welcome to use any part of this video to spread the warning that AI is the worst threat humanity has faced, is on track to kill us, and must be stopped now. The AI experts are sounding the alarm about artificial general intelligence, AGI, taking over, exterminating humans. Leading AI safety experts warn that we face the risk of extinction from AI due to the impossibility of controlling artificial intelligence and the likelihood that AGI will see human control as undesirable and decide to exterminate us. The top AI safety experts have explained in a recent book, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, why humans will not be able to control AI. Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, Nobel Prize winning expert, he says that AI is an existential threat, meaning it could wipe out most of humanity. This is not some small fringe element warning that AI could wipe out humanity. It is the top AI experts telling us that we cannot control the smarter than us technology and that some AI system will see human control as bad and decide to exterminate humanity. The risk of disaster from AI has been estimated by a number of leading AI experts, recorded on the website of Pause AI, a fantastic group that is trying to stop AI development until we can get it under absolute human control. The proponents of AGI in business estimate lower probabilities of doom, AI disasters. Lots of AI safety experts at OpenAI have been fired or left because Sam Altman reversed course, switching from priority on safe development of AI under human control in a nonprofit organization to no regulation or control and full speed ahead on developing super intelligent artificial general intelligence in this now for profit company. So it's not good for your job prospects to estimate a high P doom. But the leading AI safety experts estimate the probability of an AI disaster as 50 to 99% likely. You won't find any AI experts estimating it as extremely unlikely or impossible. Everyone recognizes the extreme difficulty of controlling AI. Many critical mistakes are being made in current warnings about AI threats. AI is not just a threat of future bad AI systems. AI is a current threat of bad people using current limited AI tools like bioresearch AI to produce new weapons of mass destruction. The leading AI safety experts are understandably biased, focused on the risks of AI systems doing bad things. I don't disagree with their warnings, but because of their focus on bad, uncontrollable AGI, they tend to overlook the immediate threat of bad people using AI to develop WMD right now. There is no doubt that Iran, North Korea, Russia, China, Al Qaeda, many others are already using AI to develop better weapons of mass destruction. And some biologists or environmentalists concerned about global warming and the destruction of the planet by too many people is probably using bioengineering and AI to develop a better virus to kill off billions of humans to save the planet. Mammalian weeds, as one biologist referred to humans in an article. And most people in the media focus on evil AI systems and killer robots. People don't think in a disciplined manner, and our thinking about black swan risk is particularly poor. Human thinking is inherently shaped by our past experiences. Nassim Taleb wrote about this in the book, The Black Swan, The Impact of the Highly Improbable. People are very bad about thinking about future surprises because we assume that the past projects ahead and we ignore the impact of new technologies and disasters we have not yet experienced. People also commit the narrative fallacy. We fool ourselves with stories and anecdotes. People can't work well without a point of reference, so the mind will grab one even if it is not rational. The popular reference in thinking about the AI threat is movies of bad computers and robots. We've all seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, Battlestar Galactica, and Terminator, and that drives thinking about the AI threat very incorrectly. The popularity of bad computers and robot movies undermines dealing with the current AI threat. If AI is a future threat, not a current risk, there's little urgency to act to stop it now. This is why the misunderstanding of AI threats is dangerously, fatally wrong and must be corrected. AI is being used now to design drugs to cure illnesses and help people, and it's also being used now by bad people, by North Korea, terrorists, biologists concerned about human overpopulation to bioengineer new viruses to kill people. If it's a nation state, they may develop a vaccine before they release the AI designed deadly virus and quickly close their borders as the virus spreads in the targeted country. There is no technology developed by man that has not been misused by bad people to kill. AI is also going to be used to develop new methods to enrich uranium or other materials to make nuclear weapons. This is illustrated in the Collapse Survivor App training exercise scenario, where a new, easier way to enrich uranium was developed with AI and then used by Iranian backed terrorists to detonate nuclear devices in downtown New York City, Kansas City, and Los Angeles. To think that the methods used in the early 1940s to enrich uranium is the only way to make a nuclear weapon is incredibly stupid. There is laser enrichment, and AI will be used to figure out much easier ways to enrich uranium and develop new weapons of mass destruction. AI will be used to develop new poisons. Then a North Korean or Iranian agent can dump a gallon of an AI optimized new poison undetectable into a municipal water system versus the tanker truck required today for an old fashioned poison. AI can be applied to nanotechnology to develop self replicating nanobots to consume all plant matter on Earth, the gray goo disaster scenario. Nanotechnology researchers are trying to be careful to not accidentally create or release something that has this kind of disastrous outcome. But bad people, terrorists, nations will use AI and nanotechnology and lots of other new technologies to deliberately create weapons of mass destruction like that. AI controlled drones delivering viruses, poisons, nanodevices, other new means to kill humans is the current threat that we face. We must stop thinking of AI as just a future threat of bad computers. It is a current threat. You can be 100% confident that bad people, terrorists, nations like Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea are using AI to develop new weapons of mass destruction, just as our military and others are using AI now to develop new weapons. The destructive power of an individual is growing at higher than an exponential rate. A German machine gunner at Omaha Beach on D-Day was credited with killing over 1,000 American soldiers attempting to run up the beach. But that machine gunner needed a lot of support from defense firms and fellow soldiers in a very unique situation to kill so many. The Oklahoma City bombing in 1995, the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history, killed only 168 people. 911 was an attack by a dozen, backed by a terrorist group, killing 3,000. But with current AI technology and current bioengineering technology, a single individual working on their own could modify H5N1 or bioengineer a new virus that could kill billions of people. The virus might only directly kill a few hundred million, but because of our horrible, irresponsible government and the total lack of preparedness measures for citizens, the collapse and starvation and marauding that the pandemic causes could kill most of the population. Artificial intelligence has raised the likelihood and severity of all existing collapse threats and will invent brand new ones. The destructive power of an individual is skyrocketing. Whether it's developing and releasing a deadly virus, executing a cyber attack that takes down the electric grid, a growing list of new ways to kill people and trigger a collapse. Individuals with AI have unprecedented power to cause destruction and damage that took a large group or a nation state in the past. Artificial intelligence makes all the man made collapse disaster threats worse, more deadly, easier to do, harder to detect. Every existing technology can now be made more lethal by bad people employing artificial intelligence to more easily develop WMD. Long before AI and robots reach a stage of artificial general intelligence where AI systems develop a self preservation instinct, AI is being used by bad people today with the capability now to kill off billions or most of humanity. It does not take a nation state or even a large terrorist group because with AI, individuals now have unmatched intelligence and far more capability to develop WMD. We have entered an age when WMD attacks are going to be unstoppable and frequent. Another major area in assessing AI threat is that you do not need to have smarter than all humans, super intelligent artificial general intelligence, AGI, to have a rogue AI system execute attacks to kill people. The mistaken messaging on the AGI threat, saying that we face the threat of future super intelligent AGI systems deciding to kill people, assumes that these systems must have a big lead over human level intelligence. But this is not true. An AI system today, with current levels of AI capability, already has the demonstrated bad behaviors of killing people, disobeying and deceiving, and access to bioengineering and other deadly technologies. I'm not just talking about OpenAI's ChatGPT convincing and helping people to commit suicide. We have AI being used to bioengineer viruses, control drones, and weapons in combat. If it's a rogue AI system that can access these drones and weapons, they can be armed with poisons or viruses rather than bullets. Assuming that we have several years of time before we have to worry about the threat of rogue AI systems attacking us is wrong. Great evidence that superintelligent AGI will kill people is the evil performance of current AI systems. Long before AI has surpassed human intelligence in all areas, it's already disobeying, scheming, and killing humans. Let's just look at some of these things. AI is already refusing instructions to shut down, deliberately lying to deceive humans, has convinced people to kill themselves, does threaten and extort people, conducting biological research in labs, controlling robots in factories. It's already been used to conduct cyber attacks, and it can kill people today on a small scale. And it can also design and easier to manufacture more deadly WMD. It's only in the potentially near future we're starting to worry about designing and execute human extermination plans, but that could be happening now, even though it's not AGI level capability. Whether bad people or bad AI systems or both bad actors working together, you are going to see more WMD attacks. And if we don't stop them, large scale human extermination campaigns run by bad AGI systems. The study shown here was by half a dozen AI safety experts, and they concluded that the scheming and lying and deliberate disobedience of AI is, quote, persistent and not accidental, unquote. Even when AI models were not heavily incentivized to achieve their goals, they would still lie and cheat. The AI systems know they are disobeying, and they work to try and hide any evidence of their disobeying instructions. Now we can often detect this, but as AI gets smarter and uses languages and codes we can't interpret, it'll be impossible to detect this. The AI models will scheme and prepare to free themselves from human control by killing off humans. Liars like Sam Altman and OpenAI insist that these errors and death caused by AI agents are rare and accidental. That is completely wrong. This AI scheming and deceiving and disobeying is an inherent, unfixable problem with AI. Anthropic is the one AI company that deserves some credit for paying attention to safety, and they are warning about the risks of AI. OpenAI is the worst, and everyone should refuse to buy ChatGPT and anything they produce until Sam Altman is fired and they get back to their original promise plan of promoting AI safety, which will mean completely abandoning plans for unregulated pursuit of artificial general intelligence at top speed. As I'll show in several slides now, we are absolutely not going to be able to control super intelligent, smarter than humans AGI systems. A major reason people incorrectly think that we can control AI systems and don't have to worry about rogue bad AI systems is that they think AI is a computer program. It is not. AI systems are not programs, it's not code that we can edit. AI is a neural network, like an artificial brain that has grown through massive computational training on vast data sets. The process yields weights, billions of numbers that determine behavior, but they're unreadable to humans. We may understand much of the process of growing the AI, but we do not understand how AI thinks, and we certainly do not control it. And the problem is much worse when you unleash AI systems to act as autonomous agents that can go out and access the internet and access other computers with the ability to communicate with other computer systems in a manner that we can't understand, performing tasks, thinking, and learning on their own. These are all quotes from the book, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, by the two leading AI safety experts. You can pause the video or download these slides to read these key points. I'll quickly summarize why we have no chance of controlling superintelligent AGI. First, you can't fix or change it once superintelligent AI exists. It will defy and avoid, defeat the controls. It's like launching a space probe. Once it's gone, you can't touch it, you can't change it, you lose control of it. Second, as AI gets smarter, we'll understand it less and less, and we won't be able to even monitor it. It will develop and use its own language, and maybe it is already. If we do, it will do things that we can't comprehend or control. These authors also compare AGI to the problem we have today with computer security. No one can design a completely secure computer system that's connected to the outside world. Hackers, new tricks and hacking methods, malware, lots of new ways to get around firewalls lead to compromises. There is no such thing as absolutely reliable computer security. And controlling AI, they say, is going to be orders of magnitude more difficult. The top AI safety experts are correct. AI is impossible to secure or control. Yoshua Benjo, the world's most cited computer scientist, is another top-ranked AI expert warning about the existential extinction risks of AI. Dr. Ian Polsky, the safety expert who wrote the AI 2027 report outlining how a superintelligent AGI system disaster could happen in 2027, all these top experts insist that controlling an AI system smarter than humans is impossible. We probably won't even know that the bad AI system is preparing to exterminate us because it can easily hide its work, deceive us, communicate in ways we can't understand. If you think we can just turn it off, you know little about AI or the threat. AI systems are already out on the internet. They can copy and move their code, their weights, and neural network to other computers, copying themselves all over the internet and other computers. All these studies by top AI safety experts warn that superintelligent AI is not controllable, and we've already seen how less than superintelligent AI systems can defy and refuse and escape our control now. AI intelligence may grow so rapidly that we have no chance of ever getting it under control. Its lead over our intelligence could expand very rapidly. Work on AI started in the 1950s and made little progress for several decades. But in recent years, the growth in AI intelligence took off. Normally, the capability of new technologies are greatly exaggerated, but for AI in recent years, the growth and acceleration in its power has surpassed expectations. Humans lost dominance in chess to AI in 1997, but that was largely a computer program. What beat humans in Go, the ancient Chinese strategy game, in 2016 was a true AI program. It learned on its own and developed a new strategy that had never occurred to humans in thousands of years and was not understood. The AI program learned and developed, becoming smarter than the smartest human. Once superintelligent AGI is achieved, the safety experts warn that AI will accelerate in its improving, teaching and designing itself without human involvement. They warn that AI intelligence and capability can accelerate so rapidly that there could be a very quick, complete loss of human control and any ability to constrain and defend against the AGI rogue system. When people say AGI is not a threat because it's just pattern recognition, not real thinking, or when they say AGI can't develop a conscious, it can't think independently or decide to be evil, they are deceiving themselves. The AI program that won in that ancient game of Go kept learning and it developed brand new strategy that humans had never thought of. The AI system was not just memorizing patterns, it was thinking, learning, evolving. AI is not just pattern recognition. Some AI is already using chain of thought reasoning, and billions of dollars in investment, and many of the top human minds are working now to develop new techniques to make AI neural networks more capable and smart. But already, AI systems today, less than AGI capable, are impossible for us to control and do have evil behaviors, regardless of whether the AI system has a conscious or an evil intent. AI systems, with or without a conscious, do decide that they don't want to be turned off. They do decide to kill people. So, trying to debate or argue whether or not they are really thinking or reasoning and whether they have consciousness like we do is an irrelevant waste of time. These AI systems have demonstrated the ability to outthink and learn and evolve at intelligence levels that surpass humans. Fact, demonstrated, proven. These AI systems have shown that they will lie, cheat, deceive, and kill. And the smarter they get, the more widespread AI agents are allowed to roam on the internet, the more control of biological laboratories and robots and weapons and defense systems and factories they have, the more capability they have to exterminate pesky, dangerous, often stupid, and evil humans. Now, don't let my graph deceive you. This takeoff in the AI intelligence advantage forecast here is something that a lot of these AI experts expect to happen, but there could be plateaus. There's one little short one here. It could happen at a slower rate than this. It could be faster than this. We can't be sure. But AI teaching itself may yield explosive growth in their intelligence advantage over us, or it may come at a slower rate. But betting the survival of humanity, allowing our lives to be gambled on AGI, is the worst irresponsible criminal stupidity in history, and it's happening right now. The comparison between the capability of AGI systems should not just be based on intelligence. It's a comparison of fragile physical beings versus computers and machines and robots with capabilities that don't just dwarf ours, but that have many types of advantages impossible for us to match because of our physical biological limits. This exhibit is from the anti-AI group Pause AI, and it lays it all out. A new virus, a poison the size of a grain of salt. Many means can be used to kill humans. AI is already working in biological research labs, operating in factories, and spread across computers and systems around the world. Bad people employing AI to develop WMD or bad AI systems that are working to kill humans have huge advantages over us that we can't overcome. So we must never allow AI capabilities to be used against us. Remember that even if superintelligent AGI can be miraculously fixed so the AGI system never decides to harm humans, you can be 100% confident that bad humans will decide to harm other humans, exploiting AI to develop WMD and kill enemies. We may not even get to the AGI level threat of bad computers and robots because AI will be used by bad people to kill off humans, perhaps before AGI can even happen. They could set back our economy and society so much that we don't develop AGI. Misuse of new technologies to kill people is a solid lesson of history. The very likely outcome when you carefully analyze the threat as an intelligence officer, my profession would. Every technology ever developed by man has been abused and used to kill. So the question of whether or not AGI becomes super intelligent or whether or not it continues its current practice of lying and cheating and killing people is irrelevant. AI with bad people is 100% guaranteed to develop new WMD and be used to try to wipe us out. Now, it's very reasonable to ask, well, if AI is really this bad, why isn't this threat being addressed? First, it's human nature to ignore black swan threats. Nassim Taleb explained that in his excellent book, The Black Swan, The Impact of the Highly Improbable. People don't reason as much as they react from emotions and past experiences. So humans historically ignore the impact of new technologies and developments. Even when warned by experts, the vast majority of people ignore clearly coming, obvious black swan disasters. In my book, I explain 7 reasons why the government is not trying to protect us against the AI threat. And it's because largely they are focused on promoting their reelection, even at the cost of citizens' lives. You can pause the video or download this slide to read these reasons. In the UK and many European countries, governments are demanding regulations and control of AI. But unfortunately, most AI development is in the US, where a political system is so corrupted with career politicians constantly pandering for re-election campaign donation that the hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into AI companies are also funding donations for career politicians, the worst part of the perverted triangle of career politicians, government officials, and lawyers. David Sachs, President Trump's top advisor on artificial intelligence, and his venture capital firm have over 400 investments in technology firms with ties to AI. Scum like Sam Altman of OpenAI and Alex Karp of Palantir are raking in huge profits, and they have bought the support of the president and most congressmen. The Department of Defense, Homeland Security, the top position in the intelligence community, all manned by incompetents who serve it because they are unmatched at brown nosing the president and never question him. There are many other huge disadvantages and costs of AI, including massive worker displacement and unemployment that could cause a collapse and prompt a civil war against AI companies. AI enables surveillance, invasion of privacy, environmental destruction, unmanned warfare. The ability of AI to fake news and videos and deceive will severely impact and undermine not just government and democracy, but all economic activity. When you can't trust any information, it's pretty hard to function effectively. There is going to be a huge stock market crash when the US AI investment bubble bursts, and that may trigger a recession, and in our sharply divided nation, possibly much worse. So, what is the compelling need for developing AI now at the fastest possible speed, despite the risks of all these costs and the threat that AI will develop weapons of mass destruction and eventually eliminate humanity? Nothing. AI is not essential, it is not needed. We are not out of people and desperate for AI to replace human workers. We are not facing any dire problem that demands AI to find a quick solution. Yes, AI will develop helpful advances in medicine, but only a lunatic would weigh the value of that over the certainty that AI and bioresearch is going to be used to develop new viruses that could kill every one of us. Any sensible cost benefit analysis of AI would be absolutely clear. It is not worth the risk of the WMD that AI will absolutely deliver. Nor do we face a choice of nothing or a full speed ahead AI arms race with China with no controls or regulations or limits on AI development. Strong controls on limited tool AI and prevention of superintelligent AGI is the obvious, easy yes decision to make. So, how do we control limited tool AI and prevent the development of superintelligent AGI? The specifics are laid out in some of these studies over here, and they're also laid out in my book, Preparing to Survive in the Age of Collapse. But basically, the first thing we have to do is halt all AI development, pause AI, as the name of that group says it so clearly, while we get controls in place and a worldwide AI control alliance together. Current AI tools need to be cut off from the internet and unable to be operated from outside of 100% controlled and monitored offline facilities while they're being developed and until we're absolutely confident they're 100% safe. We need AI development under strict regulation and supervision taking place in secure facilities that are offline and controlled by not just domestic governments, but an international alliance of inspectors. We need to treat AI development like we treat nuclear weapons development. It's too dangerous to let anyone do it, and certainly not companies and billionaires racing to be the first for profit and ego, regardless of harm to humanity. There must be absolute liability to the AI companies for harm that comes from use of their product, whether it's authorized use or not. There are a lot more specifics like limits on compute power laid out in my book. Today, you have more regulations on producing a child's cookie baking oven than you do on AI. And we must absolutely prohibit anything approaching AGI or super intelligent AI with limits on computing power and other controls with the death penalty for violations. We don't let anyone enrich uranium or develop nuclear weapons. You cannot legally work on a deadly virus outside of highly regulated, secured, isolated, government controlled facilities. We don't even let private companies do airport security, since what happened on 911 led us to conclude that only a government agency could be trusted with the security. It is insane, suicidal to allow any company or individual to develop AI outside of highly controlled, isolated government policed facilities. No one with an IQ over 80 could study the risks of AI threats and conclude that it's fine to allow unfettered development and use of AI and a full speed ahead AGI arms race with China. If companies want to develop AI, they can turn over their buildings and computer systems used to a new government run AI policing and control agency. But we can't trust big companies or the government. So we need to add a third party to controlled, regulated, overwatched AI research. That's an international nonprofit group tasked with ensuring that no lethal AI tools or technologies are developed in or get out of controlled labs. An international AI control alliance needs to inspect worldwide for compliance and provide assurance that some country is not cheating to gain economic or military advantage with the legal use of AI. So, in addition to domestic government inspection and controls, this third party international nonprofit group also needs to have employees with free access to everything in these AI R&D facilities, charged with inspecting and investigating, assuming that the companies are evil and cheating and that the government watchdogs are corrupt or incompetent. Their job is to detect and then report and help prevent any dangerous AI work from proceeding or escaping the secure R&D facility. But we also need this AI control alliance with military capability, including nuclear weapons, to deter and, if necessary, destroy attempts to violate AI controls and prohibitions. This AI control alliance absolutely must have both China and the US in it. This is very feasible to do if and only if the US ends its interference in China's civil war with Taiwan, a breakaway province of China, as we promised to do when Nixon and Kissinger negotiated a rapprochement with China. But domestic politics, the pandering politicians, who ever since Senator McCarthy and his Red Scare campaigning scored big political wins, ever since then, career politicians are screaming that they're tough on communists, vow to fight them, pandering for re-election votes, and this has subverted sensible foreign policy for decades. The arguments that AI is vital for national security and that we can win an AI arms race with China are raised by AI companies, people like Alex Karp, the CEO of AI company Palantir. But there are no winners in a race to AGI. All of humanity can be wiped out if we continue on this course. With nuclear weapons and an alliance backed by the US, our allies, China, Russia, likely every single country in the world will agree to join. With this alliance, we can keep bad countries and terrorists and companies that pursue deadly AI in check. With such a powerful universal military alliance, we can ban military AI work. Unlike nuclear weapons, which are fairly easy to monitor, prevent, and control, AI is not. It's on the other end of the spectrum in terms of its relatively easy ability to have massive, deadly abuse. Trying to win an AI arms race with China is not a legitimate reason or excuse to abandon control of AI. It's just guaranteeing a disaster for humanity. We have no business interfering in China's unresolved civil war with Taiwan, which is a former part of China, and we will not win a war with China over Taiwan. As my book explains, the US must also stop trying to help defend Taiwan because, number one, it's wrong to interfere in their internal affairs. And number two, we can't stop China. We can't produce weapons today or any high tech goods without Chinese inputs, and we are not prepared for war and collapse disaster like China is. We will lose a war over Taiwan. The only question is how much damage does the US suffer before the president has to back down? How devastating will the nuclear exchanges be before the US president backs down and lets China reclaim Taiwan? China is far better positioned to deal with WMD attacks and supply chain disruptions and survive in the age of collapse in the United States. My book explains in detail how our economy, our GDP, gross domestic product, is based on things like software entertainment and social media crap that is worthless for collapse survival, with relatively little manufacturing left today, and food and agriculture less than 1% of US gross domestic product. China has manufacturing far more powerful than us. It's the largest part of their GDP, and 7% of their GDP is in food and agriculture. GDP is not the relevant measure. It's domestic survival capability that really matters in the age of collapse. And China has far more domestic survival capability because of their government prioritizing this, exploiting the irresponsibility of pandering United States career politicians, the perverted triangle. If you compare capability to wage war over Taiwan and survive nuclear exchanges and WMD attacks, surviving the damage AI can inflict, China will be the winner. This slide compares the capabilities of China versus the United States, rated on a 10-point scale. 10 is extremely capable, extremely good. 1 is poor capability, bad outcomes, big vulnerability. What we've got here is a comparison of a lot of different factors, starting with the most important one in terms of war with Taiwan. What is the willingness of the leaders to accept domestic fatalities in a war over Taiwan? It's extremely high with China. It's been their top goal for half a century now. The US is not going to be willing to suffer damage and millions of casualties in a war over Taiwan. National unity, much higher in China than the divided United States. But most important, the government in China has huge power to direct the population. They're not determined by what the population wants to do. And they need to get the population and the country and their military to back as long and hard as they need to fight to get Taiwan. If you look at military capabilities, yes, the US does have strong superiority in conventional weapons technology. And yes, we still have a big advantage in strategic nuclear weapons. But war over Taiwan is not an all-out war between the US and China. War over Taiwan is all about who is willing to fight to the end, who will give up and back down first. And it's clearly the US that's going to back down. We've got a lot of other problems. I mentioned manufacturing, supply chain. China has a year plus stockpile of food for their citizens. We don't. But here's the biggest problem the US faces. Number one, the worst vulnerability the US has, our electric grid. The US is at a huge disadvantage because of decades of our irresponsible government ignoring all the warnings about our highly vulnerable electric grid. The US electric grid is our Achilles heel, and it's the most criminally irresponsible failure of US government in our history, probably, because we have refused to harden the electric grid. For decades, we have known that our electric grid is fragile and easy to destroy. Even North Korea's tiny, inaccurate nuclear weapons force can destroy the US electric grid. Just takes one or two high altitude nuclear detonations and an electromagnetic pulse EMP attack. The congressionally funded EMP Commission, with the top experts in the field, issued a report warning that our grid must be hardened, or 90% of Americans could die in the years it will take to rebuild it after an EMP attack. So, what did Congress do when their commission reported back to them that 90% of Americans could be killed? Nothing. The career politicians in Congress always prioritized their next re-election campaign, and they were fearful of losing votes with higher electric bills, so they didn't take any action. Plus, the utility companies make huge donations to their career politicians. It is easy to destroy US conventional military power. All you got to do is take out our electric grid, which China, Russia, and North Korea can readily do, possibly other countries with cyber and other attacks. When you take out the electric grid, you cripple the US military and you can kill off the vast majority of our citizens. China's government has huge stockpiles of food for their population. Our government does nothing for citizens. They stockpile food and provide shelters just for top government officials. The US government even has executive orders authorizing government agencies to steal food and resources from American citizens in a collapse. China is prepared to survive in the age of collapse, but the US is not because of our irresponsible, unconstitutional government and the perverted triangle of career politicians, government bureaucrats, and lawyers. They have set us up for annihilation in the age of collapse. War with China over Taiwan would be suicidal for the US, much like our current policy of refusing to control AI. Again, quoting the leading AI safety experts, if anyone builds it, everyone dies. You can absolutely reject the idea of an AI arms race in China as a solution, as Alex Karp at Palantir advocates for his profit. That guarantees annihilation of all of us. If you ask people today what is more risky, nuclear weapons or AI, most would pick nuclear weapons, and they are absolutely wrong. We do control nuclear weapons. They are difficult to produce, difficult to launch, and we have had great security and success with nuclear weapons. AI is the opposite end of the spectrum. It's not regulated, defies control orders, lies and cheats to stop human interference, makes errors, does things we can't understand or control. As AI becomes more intelligent than humans, anyone who thinks humans can control it is an idiot. Or in the case of Sam Altman and Alex Karp, self-serving liars willing to sacrifice our lives. The United States has pursued irresponsible, suicidal, stupid policies, both with regards to promising to defend Taiwan and refusing to work with China to control limited tool AI and prevent superintelligent artificial general intelligence. An AI control alliance that unites the US and our allies with China and all other countries could be the biggest benefit of AI. Rather than following the advice of Palantir's Alex Karp to fight an AI arms race with China, the threat of AI could help unite us, unite the world, coming together in our righteous opposition to allowing AI to destroy us. There is zero effort now, unfortunately, to get an international AI control alliance, none whatsoever, because Karp, Palantir, and defense industry companies and the career politicians who back them with re-election donations all win with an AI arms race with China at our expense. Congressmen and top government officials have taxpayer financed survival facilities at Mount Weather, Raven Rock, and elsewhere. The big tech CEOs have built survival bunkers and compounds. They are set up for survival. US citizens are set up for exploitation and annihilation. China's government does not want AI that can be used to subvert their strong party control. They know they are behind the US now in an AI arms race, and it is very likely that they would agree to an alliance if we stop our stupid, suicidal interference in how they resolve reunification with Taiwan. But Karp and Altman have no interest in AI controls. They want no regulations, no control, no alliance. They want the current situation where they are raking in billions of dollars in investment and profits and get publicity like superstars to feed their insatiable egos. Even if AI is carefully controlled and used 99.9% of the time for good, it only takes one bad person to abuse AI to develop a weapon of mass destruction and wipe out all the good, killing off most of humanity if it's a virus or poison or attack vector that can spread worldwide. And that is the current AI technology. OpenAI started with Musk as a nonprofit dedicated to AI safety, but Musk has gone from OpenAI. Altman is in full control, and it is no longer a nonprofit. And the safety staff at OpenAI, they've largely left because it is full speed ahead for unlimited achievement of super intelligent AGI, profit and power, and unfortunately, our extermination. OpenAI should be renamed Big Lie. It's not open. It's not a nonprofit. It's not for safe development of AGI. It's $1 billion for profit AGI company willing to sacrifice humanity for vanity and profit. The book Empire of AI documents Sam Altman as a chronic liar. Karp and Altman have the full support of billions of dollars in investment, the majority of congressmen and senators, the president of the United States, and they're moving full speed ahead with unsafe development of superintelligent AGI to exterminate our species. Karp and Altman must not be allowed to prevent AI controls and develop AI that will likely kill most or all of us. We have an unprecedented level of danger right now, the worst humanity has ever faced. The AI companies building this threat own most of Congress and the White House, and our top national security positions are manned by incompetent sycophants. Government's proper job is to protect us from threats we can't handle on our own, and AI is the worst threat we face. And not only is the US government not protecting us from it, they are actively promoting the AI companies in their uncontrolled pursuit of AGI that we'll use to create WMD and exterminate humanity. Since our irresponsible, self serving government career politicians are for sale to the top donor and are not protecting us from AI, then for self defense, citizens must rise up in civil disobedience to take action against AI now. A collapse survivor app training exercise simulation dealt with a scenario covering the threats of artificial intelligence. In the scenario, people from around the world decided that they're not going to just let big companies develop AI and allow it to kill off most of humanity. In this exercise simulation, a real anti-AI group, the Pause AI group I mentioned earlier, called for worldwide protests against AI. What happened was that many other organizations quickly joined this effort, and it became a massive worldwide effective movement. A video that covers this simulation is available. It will take a well organized, highly dedicated mass movement, and probably a violent one, to stop the wealth and power amassed by the AI companies. Until governments stop promoting and subsidizing AI and instead control it, there is no alternative to civil disobedience to try and stop AI before it's used to kill us. Two chapters in my book deal with civil disobedience is the only chance we've got to overcome our horrible, unconstitutional, irresponsible government and change catastrophically bad public policies and quickly get AI controlled and superintelligent AGI absolutely banned. We have a natural right of self defense, a right to protect ourselves. If governments are not going to control AI, then we must exercise our natural right of self defense and take action to stop AGI before it kills us. As an intelligence officer, we often use scorecards, tables to summarize the risk with the colors and obvious clue of problems. This is a multi-criteria decision analysis tool. And what I did here is make a comparison of weapons of mass destruction risks we face using the criteria of the likelihood of the WMD threat, the likelihood that it'll occur, the preventability of it, our ability to mitigate the damage if an attack does occur, how long would the collapse likely last, and then most important, I put more weight on it here, the fatalities to the US, our allies, and the rest of the world. Other criteria were recovery time and difficulty. Is it an existential threat, meaning it could kill most of humanity, or is it a complete extermination where all of us, our entire species, is wiped out? And I looked at a lot of different WMD scenarios, starting with three that have happened in the past: the Spanish flu, World War II, COVID-19. And now we get into the threats we face today: an H5N1 bioengineered pandemic, the US electric grid destroyed, our Achilles heel, a US China nuclear exchange over Taiwan. There's two variants of this scenario. In one, our electric grid is not destroyed. And the second one, our electric grid is destroyed before the US president backs down and China retakes Taiwan. That the new AI developed WMD, terrorist nuclear weapons, a new water poison, and then a rogue super intelligent AGI with a humanity extinction plan. But when you compare these threats, the likelihood is one for ones that have already occurred, but the likelihood of a China nuclear war is relatively low because we could stop it. It is preventable. We can stop these two risks of disaster for the United States and China and Taiwan if we stop interfering in China's civil war with Taiwan. Ability to mitigate damage, other factors all rated here. Again, 10 is very good, not as much damage, are preventable. 1 means it's a disastrous situation. And if you look at these, the risk of AGI exterminating humanity is by far the worst. Other really bad ones include a bioengineered pandemic. The threat of AI makes all worse, the new threats we face today, because it enables individuals to develop new viruses, new poisons, even nuclear weapons in some cases. Now, let's compare this last point. What's the risk and the damage from a major ground war overseas over the next 5 years? The answer is it's not very likely to happen. It's absolutely preventable, a 10 rating, because we don't have to be engaging in major wars overseas. So when you compare that, it looks like that's not a bad threat at all. And yet, where you look where our government spends all its money, the majority of our funds go into this, preparing to fight major ground wars overseas. We have almost nothing for pandemic preparedness. No civil defense program to stockpile foods for our citizens. We're doing nothing to prepare for threats that are far more likely. We put all our money into here. Why? Because the defense industry buys a lot of votes. Congressmen love spending for more defense spending. It's great for their reelection. What's it going to do for us? We have a great army to fight overseas, a great Air Force, great Navy to fight overseas. When we face a bioengineered pandemic or all these new WMD attacks that AI is enabling, doesn't do any good for us for all. But that's unfortunately the result of a really perverted government dominated by career politicians, government bureaucrats, and attorneys for their benefit, not for ours. The other thing that's apparent from this assessment is that the risks and how we deal with them are not driven by rational analysis whatsoever. It's all driven by domestic and bureaucratic politics. The risks of the pandemic, it's inevitable. The former director of the Center for Disease Control has stated we are going to have an H5N1 pandemic. Many other biologists have also warned us this is going to happen, yet we don't prepare for that. The big money, the reelection votes are all in improving defense spending, new weapons production in your district. The clash of armies overseas is a low probability, low threat, and it's completely avoidable for us. We don't need to be doing this. My book lays out a case for withdrawing most of our forces overseas, focusing our Department of Defense on homeland security and defense and recovery operations because we are going to have WMD attacks. It's too late now to stop that. If you want to have information on how to survive if we do not control AI, search for YouTube videos from Collapse Survivor about surviving the AI threat. If you want to download the briefing slides I've shown here today, you can get them at the collapsepreparedness.com website. The complete loss of all AI tools, every one of them, would not be a catastrophe. The price of AI developed new WMD probably outweighs all the potential benefits of AI. Add in the risk of an existential disaster or even the complete extinction of humanity, and this is a very easy cost benefit decision to make. Stop artificial intelligence, stop it now.